All right, next game. It also involves an animal. It's the Direwolves versus the Chiefs.
Yeah. Old school matchup. It's a rewrite of MEO of the Grand Finals, you know, but these are some very different teams have played each other before. They're coming from very different angles here.
Yeah, very different trajectories in the current split as well. Of course, you can see the rosters on your screen now. Those rosters, you would say, even on paper, the scores should be reflected exactly the same way. Now, Direwolves have looked better every single week. This is one of those teams where you do say trust the process for them. They've got their win very recently. They actually pushed some other teams to the wire as well. Known for very slow games right now if they're getting any kind of lead. But yesterday we did see them try and branch out. They tried to play a little bit more aggressively with moments, and those were actually the points where they faltered. So I wouldn't be shocked to see slow again.
Yeah, but I'd be interested to see if they can make Chiefs play that sort of style. I feel like going into the match, like I definitely think Chiefs are going to have the upper hand from pretty early on. But like if Direwolves can have a Direwolves game, like Chiefs is a hard team to do that against. They've stylistically, we talk about it week to week. They're a team that like gets to 20 minutes and stuff happens. Like it's a Baron fight, it's a team fight. Like they're setting up the map and they do look for like early victories more often than not. So this is a tough stylistic matchup, I think.
Absolutely. And for one of those players, if you want to follow them, the Chiefs support, it's Ayla. You can check out on our Twitter page at OPL. You can be following that on the POV stream there. Spicy tips don't matter because it's all over now.
No, they do matter.
Well, I mean, they do matter.
They matter a lot.
They do. I mean, they matter
I wonder
too.
who lost, guys. Who,
I hate spicy tips.
who was it?
Yeah, it's okay.
Who lost?
I lose every time.
Oh, did you lose solo?
It's just me.
Oh, thank goodness.
I just eat so much chili in my life.
Oh, hold
right
on.
now.
You don't even eat the whole chili. I've lost it. I lost another one.
Hey, that was you last week.
No, I ate the... What?
That was me.
The big one.
He
That
didn't
was
eat
me.
the big
Oh,
one.
was it him?
I had the
Oh, no,
whole
you
chili.
did eat the big one. Yeah, that's
was
right.
there
Words of
halfway
wise,
through.
Paul. It's just massive. Like that's a lot of chili.
All right, so we're going to get spicy tips out of this game, but of course we have to go through the whole rigmarole and formality of actually playing a game of League of Legends before we can eat chili on the broadcast. So I'm going to throw it to the desk with Spawn and Pirate.
I think Rusty should cast this game whilst eat every time he finishes a chili, he takes another chili.
We're going to run out of chilies.
Be the whole game.
It's a Direwolves game. It's going to be like 45 minutes.
No.
Okay.
Unless the Chiefs just crush it.
Yeah, potentially. But these teams have played before.
They have. It was all the way back in week 1. It was a big start. But this was before the Direwolves really got into this. We're going to grind it out for the late game because this was a 30-minute game that Chiefs crushed it in.
Yeah, it certainly was, and I expect today to follow a similar trajectory. Kind of what Bryce was saying. Like, Chiefs are a group up and team fight team, and it is very hard to like play the map against that or seed enough pressure with the current state of New Baron. So I think that unless they really significantly outdraft them here, they're going to be playing off the back foot. Want to see how Chiefs perform, because there is a chance right now for both Chiefs and Bombers to put 2 games between themselves and Avant Order.
Yeah, I think
which
that's
on the map is
huge.
a big deal. On the ladder, sorry, is a big deal.
Yeah, I mean it's a big game for Chiefs because the onus is going to be on them to do what they have been doing consistently into this second round robin. But on the flip side, for the Direwolves, even though they're not expected to win this game, I think it can be a big benchmark for them based on how they performed against the Chiefs last time, which was very much in the upside down. And if they can put up more of a fight this time, it kind of gives them some confidence to say this process is working not just against weaker teams.
Well, I think, I mean, sure, but like they did it against Order and they did it against Mammoth, and Mammoth just looked fine in that game, like to be honest, and they've still got strong players. So I think that they already know the process is working. Like I think that like to do it against the best team in the league, where a lot of people hold the Chiefs right now, is kind of just like an unfair measuring stick to put them against. So like, you know, I don't want to write the game over. We haven't even seen pick bans, but I don't think that if they lose this game, that they lose any faith that what Charlie and Sharp are doing behind the scenes. I always just call him Curtis. Are doing behind the scenes that like has any less impact.
No, I don't mean that like, oh, they have to win against all odds. I just mean I want to see this not be a 30-minute game that the Chiefs stomp it for the Direwolves. If they can basically keep it a lot more even, which is still going to be hard, then that gives a lot of props into what they've been doing. I think.
Yeah, see, I kind of like, I don't know, I'm of a different opinion. Like, I was listening to the segment that Ejim and Rusty just did, and you know, the fact that they want to see more curveballs thrown and that kind of thing. I'm actually the opposite. Right now, the way that you win League of Legends on the current patch is decisive plays. Like when you have ultimates available, we're seeing a lot of Sion, a lot of Lissandra, a lot of Urgot, those kinds of champions. And I think that I would rather see Direwolves get a comp like that and try and make 3 of those plays and lose the game in 25 minutes, then watch them do nothing for 50 minutes in a game that I feel like Raze is inevitably going to out-teamfight Andrew and get back.
Well, that's definitely still going to be, if that happens that way, decisive way to play the game, and it would give some credence to it. Now, we are in to the picks and bans. We've seen a lot of AD carries banned away. The Akali was left up, though, for Claire. It gets locked in quickly, but that does trade over to Direwolves to grab the Urgot and the Kai'Sa.
And this is really interesting, right? Because I wonder if Getback plays the Urgot in the mid lane and whether they think that it's a good matchup into Akali. That's bold.
Very quick pickup of the Olaf. Okay. And that should almost certainly be the jungle choice for Only, I would think. It's not Chippy's up top.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% is going to be Only's champion pick. He picks himself up, you know, the quickest tempo jungler on the patch, maybe apart from Kayn. And Ubisoft not really known for that kind of thing. Swiper going towards the Scion is really interesting here because Sylas is still up. And I mean, if Biopanther is willing to play it, or Getpack can play it, like both of those lanes are really good Sylas lanes, but they don't take it.
Okay. So
Sylas beats Akali mid, and I think beat Scion top, to be honest, regardless of what we saw earlier today. That's crazy to me, Pyra.
Well, we're curious to see why the Direwolves went to what they did, but they do lock in an Alistar as well, so they round out their bottom lane. Focus on Andrew and Corporal this game, and they continue to ban out bottom laners. It's the Tom Kench now taken off the board.
I wonder if Jarvan's going to get hit. Ayla had a really good Jarvan game yesterday. His Jarvan support was great. He was zooming around the map.
It was pretty sweet.
Quinny K was playing Draven. He was just like 1v2ing at certain points. You know, big fan of watching that Jarvan support being picked up, and Ayla certainly the only person brave enough so far, and I'll use the word brave, playing AP Jarvan support in a pro game is pretty bold.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but it worked out. I mean, clearly that's been something they've been watching and practicing, and it allowed them to kind of pull up a bit of a surprise. Another bottom laner banned. It's the Thresh this time away.
Well, they kind of have nowhere else to ban, right? The top side of the map's locked in.
No, that's
They're going to start banning top laners.
And they're not exactly focusing on banning anything further from Raze, just the Lucian and the Draven will do.
And really, you would say only really the Draven is a target ban there. Like, Lucian's just strong at the moment. Cassiopeia is just strong at the moment. But it is technically 5 bottom lane bans.
It's true. Now Nocturne banned away as well. Nocturne actually featured in the last time these two teams matched up. I believe it was Only that took it. But yeah, focusing on the jungle, which means Ubisoft will have to dip a little deeper into the pool. It's a very quick pickup of the Olaf. Some smiles coming from Big Swips.
Why would you not be smiling? This game can potentially get you back to top of the table if you are the Chiefs and you have the head-to-head advantage.
Galio now locked in too for Get Back. So interesting there. Galio we've seen a little bit less of in recent weeks.
Yeah, certainly has. Did get nerfed a little bit, although still has a very good matchup into the Akali, I think. Struggles to get poked out, also has, you know, a lot of AoE to throw into the Shroud if she ever goes in there. And just good CC setup for whatever jungle Ubisoft is going to take here. Udi really could go for a heavy ganking jungler right now because he has great CC setup in all 3 lanes to be able to give him access to, you know, pretty immobile, to be honest, in the Scion. Potentially in the Xayah pre-6 to be able to lock them down. Biggest
saving thing there will be the Black Shield from Ayla, so we'll see how that ends up getting used. But it's all down to answer what is going to be the pick for Ubisoft. You talked about ganking. Well, that's a champion that certainly can do it. It's the Camille, 10 seconds to lock.
Yeah, and that's a real Chiefs comp right there that they're actually going to play. Camille Galio is, you know, the old Spook Swiffle when they were on the Chiefs special. Throw in and engage heavy support for EGIM in 2017, and you would have a very good composition, as well as, you know, tank top lane. I think that, you know, Direwolves showing that they want to be able to play these Sledgehammer comps, and this is what I said, you know, this is the kind of comp that when you get your ultimates, you just go. You either win 2 team fights and you win the game, or you lose 2 team fights, and unfortunately there's no way you can have a team fight again because you just don't have the money for it. Well, Direwolves definitely going to go for the gold, try to match out what the Chiefs can do. Now, looking at the Chiefs side, it looks like for them, you know, they've got some tools to engage as well, but the Akali always kind of sticks in my mind as something that's going to be looking to hunt champions down rather than straight up 5v5. Yeah, potentially. I mean, she has a Shroud, which makes her, on this patch at least, she has a Shroud. Next patch, I think we just remove her W key completely from the game. She's pretty much gone. Yep. Yeah. So, like, on this patch, has a Shroud, should be able to get some good assassination potential on both Ubisoft and Andrew. But you're right. Otherwise, probably just wants to be isolated in the side lane. Probably going to be Fleet Footwork, Dorian's Blade, Akali with, you know, new overheal and all the other crap that happens. It just makes her have infinite sustain on this patch. Also, we took away all her sustain next patch. So, yeah, just play live. Live is a much better environment than this current version of Akali. This is the last game the OPL is going to have on 9.2. We're moving over to 9.3 next week. Maybe Claire just wants a last hurrah, as it were. Absolutely, because when she was strong, she was the funnest champion in League of Legends to play ever. Like, the rework is
Not so fun to play against, though.
Is a huge success in my eyes because I just think that she was completely bonkers to play as, and she's got a sick tattoo, and who doesn't like tattoos?
Yeah, no, I think that's fair. Well, maybe we'll ask the coach of Chiefs if he likes the sick tattoo as well. What's up, Volt?
Hi.
How's it going?
Not too bad.
Nice.
Did Claire demand you lock in Akali for the last
here we go.
hurrah of
Absolutely.
competitive
We were
Akali?
actually talking about that on stage. It was like, Akali is done after this patch. I really hope we get it for this very last game, so I'm glad we got it.
Oh, good stuff. You also locked in Olaf very quick. I know Spawn was very surprised at that one. Do you want to talk to me a little bit about why you guys focus so heavily on that?
Similar thought process to yesterday. Yesterday we picked Zac early to deny, to deny Gutsing because they don't have anything to punish it. Same thought process here. They can punish it with Kindred, but they chose not to. And it's just a denial pick from Ubisoft, who has shown like a lot of attention to it lately.
And Chiefs are really famous, actually, for like drafting what they want to draft and then just trusting in their process. This seems like a draft from Direwolves where they've pretty much disregarded like a lot of the things you guys are playing and just picked like completely for comp, especially the last two picks to come through. Were you kind of surprised that they drafted so heavily towards just like style and identity?
I'm really surprised they went with Camille Gallet into what we have. Like, it's very hard to lock down all of our champs except like Sion, and Sion is a tank. You're not going to kill him. Golef is his ult. Xayah has her ult. Morgana has Black Shield. Akali has a Shroud. There's no way that Camille Gallet should get anything off in this game, so I'm super surprised with their last two picks.
In saying that, from your guys' angle, not complete finesse because you still have a Sion, but a much heavier kind of finesse comp, you know, tempo jungler, assassin mid laner. Talk to me about how you want to see your team play this early game out.
We just need to neutralize the Camille Gallet. Once Camille Gallet gets to like 6 and uses their first ult and hopefully gets nothing, well, we should probably watch this head.
Yeah, maybe. That's a nice decimating smash.
Yeah, a couple of stuns out early on.
That didn't work.
Yeah, it was a nice attempt, though.
Yes, so neutralizing early game against Camille Gallet is key. Once we get to level 6s, obviously Akali is super safe, Xayah is super safe. They'll probably try to make a Camille Gallet play work, and we should be able to neutralize it, I think. And then beyond that, we have unmatchable side lane with Akali. She just doesn't lose any side lane matchups. And our teamfight is just super strong compared to them as well. Camille and Gallet fall off a little bit.
All right, and now talk to me about how this year's been for you, because it's the first time I got to interview you. Like, we used to hang out a little bit when you're on the Chiefs. How's it been returning to the club? How's it been returning to League of Legends?
It's been fantastic. I've really enjoyed like learning the game again, I guess. And this year has obviously gone super well for Chiefs in general. We're 6-1. We're really happy with how this first round robin's gone. So I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying it.
And I was actually talking to, I think, Swiffer or maybe Juves this morning about how everyone slept on the fact that Cupcake retired as maybe like the best support in current OPL, and I know that he's helping your team out at the moment. Talk to me about like what Cupcake and Ayla's relationship is like, and what he does for the young jungler, young support on your lineup.
Yeah, so Cupcake has been really pivotal in making sure Ayla is like up to standard with the rest of these players here, I think. Cupcake spent a lot of time in Korea in our bootcamp working with Ayla, and also with Raze, like just in bot lane in general, and has really made them like a power bot lane, I guess, compared to all the other bot lanes in the OPL, I think. I think Raze has shown he's really strong. Ayla has shown like really good engages on like Java and Ali. This game is on Morg, so it's not as evident, but yeah, Cupcake's been super useful for that, and he's also useful for macro stuff. So a lot of people don't know, but Cupcake was also basically the primary shot caller of Direwolves. Shen did a bit of it, obviously, but Cupcake did most of it. And so his knowledge of the like mid-game macro and even like early game, late game macro is super, super good.
Big asset for you guys' team, and sounds like it's working out well for you. So good luck this game, and thank you for joining us once again, Volt.
Thank you very much.
Early game start. Biggest action we've seen.
He's a really nice guy.
Volt is a good dude.
I don't know if you know that, but I really like Volt.
I could tell from the interview.
Real boring early game again, Pyra.
I was going to say, though, Swiper goes for the cheeky play down bottom, and it obviously doesn't work out, but he does get a couple stuns and then just walks away.
Well, Swiper has done that, I think, nearly every single game he's ever played Sion.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to check front brush now, especially if you're starting in lane, then you probably deserve to die to it at this stage. I think he didn't expect them to start in lane. You can see Ubisoft very low, actually backs on a ward, but in a top lane brush.
Hold on a second. That's a great taunt on Claire, and Winds of War can still hit you in the Shroud. Get back kind of trying to wait and seeing if he can find the damage. Claire's forced out.
Yeah, but he is now, and Claire has that sustain of Fleet Footwork, Dorian's Blade, as I mentioned already, so yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Good luck killing him now with no mana.
Still, though, get back pushing in this early lane phase. Of course, it's going to be picked up. That wave will be by Claire. Hits this level 5. He's perfectly happy. Oh yeah, so Direwolves, you know, we are going to be waiting to see what happens with the Camille Galio combination if it gets pulled off. If they can pull it off, you know, the old school Chiefs combo against the Chiefs, the new school Chiefs that is, that would be something to watch for sure.
Yeah, it certainly would be. We're going to see first reset coming out of bottom lane as well. This is really interesting. Raze is one of those players that pretty often, like I would say more often than not, doesn't necessarily stick around for BF sword reset, and instead will just take the best back available to him when he's pushed out the lane. He's going to lose nearly nothing on the flip side of this. And if he can deny it from Andrew as well, lock him in lane until level 6, there's very little chance that he actually will die. It's just one of those things to point out. I think like player tendencies like that is like super fun. I'm really surprised Claire didn't back in mid lane, however, because all of a sudden he's got no pots and no priority versus a Galio who's now level 6. So, you know, they said that Camille Galio maybe not going to work, doesn't scale that well. Like, Get Back should have many opportunities right now to make a good play.
Yeah, and people talk a lot about scaling. Of course, that only happens when people have items, right? So at the moment, Claire just sitting on his one Doran's Blade, while Get Back just has a sizable advantage and has ultimate available.
There is no good wave for Claire to go back on, because the next 3 cannon waves are getting dematted by Get Back. So he can do this, like just hold the wave right here, you know, deny as much CS as possible.
And Corporal's here too. Sniffing in case Claire wouldn't be going all in for like a play, but, you know, steps a little far forward to try and get farm or something. Corporal will just walk back into lane. Andrew has been forced under turret as a result.
This is the only Akali skin that I don't like, by the way.
Oh, wait, which one is it?
It's the Nurse Akali. The reason I don't like it is because it's called Nurse Akali, and it's obviously a nurse outfit, so it's not a real nurse, but she has high heels on, I'm pretty sure. And nurses definitely do not wear high heels.
Yeah, it's more like a Halloween costume version of a nurse.
Absolutely. But this is where I want to see Get Back get into another lane. I'm actually really surprised they sent Corporal mid, because I think what they should have been trying to do is, you know, get Corporal with a good engaged bottom lane and get, you know, Camille Galio involved. They'll have Camille level 6 to really guarantee one play, but you can generally throw out a Galio ult beforehand if you do it well enough, you know. Headbutt onto Ayla, try and burn the Black Shield on himself, flash Pulve onto Ray, something like that. We'll be able to guarantee some CC there, and they do have all the summoner spells available, but just obviously content with taking the small victory, which is a 10 CS lead and a free reset for the Galio in the mid lane. Yeah,
here's the timing for it as well. I mean, you would think Get Back could have started roaming the moment the Akali backed away, and it would have worked out. Checking in with the jungle.
So this is crazy to me. How only gets to invade second blue buff
completely
when
free.
It's so valuable on Galio, especially because they really did nerf the absolute heck out of his mana costs when they don't have a mid laner. Like, Claire hasn't played the game for the last 3 minutes because he didn't take the recall, and they still just for free get to do it off bottom lane priority alone, and, you know, a bad back timing from Get Back. That's one of those things that as a coach, I mean, maybe Charlie, you know, values different things, but that would absolutely frustrate the absolute crap out of me. I really hate to see stuff like that.
I think it's a fair criticism. I mean, Direwolf shouldn't be giving up advantages like that. Udasoft comes in, clears away a ward. They know this, of course, went down.
There's kind of only 2 mid laners right now that must have blue, and they're Lissandra Galio. All the other ones really like it, and they get like free priority for it. And, you know, Syndra, LeBlanc, they make their claims towards that area as well. But if you don't have Galio or Lissandra with blue buff, like, they just cannot keep up with a wave clear that other mid laners currently possess in their kit. And Claire's an energy-based champion. He's just going to win the sustain war now and be able to whittle down both the health bar as well as the mana bar of Get Back for the entire laning phase.
Yeah. It's going to be trouble for the Galio. He may not get as many opportunities to make those plays, that combinations that he was hoping for anyways. And yeah, just Claire continuing to poke him out. There's the Shroud. Going in, going back. There's going to be that shield to Durand, and Udasoft tags his way in, but Claire looks for the outplay. Doesn't get it. Udasoft was in the nick of time.
Yeah, and that's a real rough play coming out of Claire right there, because he thought he had the outplay. Kind of gave it away a little bit. I think his pink ward was on the wrong button, and he tried to cutlass him. Dropped a pink ward in his face, and they kind of knew the ward all-in was going to be there. Then Udasoft shows up. You know, it's a bummer. You get one of those kind of a game, but that means that this Galio, breath of fresh life, was able to pick up the assist. First blood goes over to Udi, and now all of a sudden, maybe that mid lane 2v2 can be a winning area.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to Udasoft for being in the right place, right time, but also moving very quickly to make that happen.
Well, the thing is, right, if you don't have an area of mid lane that you control, and right now you can see pink ward in bottom side and then pink ward on top side of mid, you actually have to team up as a mid lane and jungle 2v2 to be able to clear one side, because otherwise Galio's first roam is just going to be spotted immediately, and the enemy team backs off. So Udasoft had to be mid lane there. So that's kind of that's on Claire, right? he could have just won the sustain war, but he chose to go all in without complete information on the jungler. So I think that's more of a Claire, you chose to make this play when you didn't have complete information than, you know, anything that Ubisoft was really doing.
That's fair. So we get to that 10-minute mark. Slim gold lead for Direwolves. 600 or so. Mostly due to that first blood on Ubisoft.
Absolutely. I mean, it's actually, you know, CS is obviously going the way of the jungle position. First blood plus assist money is generally, you know, a little bit more than 600. So the fact that they are only 600 gold up kind of shows, well, it's now 1,000 actually. Wow. Where did they just get a big spike to go from?
Wait, what just happened? Hold on a second.
They just got like an extra 300 gold. Anyway.
I don't know exactly what just happened, but yeah. Okay. Either way, it's still, apart from that, you know, decently even in a lot of these lanes, the jungle being that biggest disparity in terms of CS, bottom lane pretty much dead on even. About 10 difference between Swiper and Biopanther, but the Urgot should have a little bit more of the push, you'd think.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I said that I like the Sion side of the matchup because I feel like Sion just adds a little bit more gank pressure without flash available. Urgot's got one really good gank setup, pre-6, where he flash flips you. As now they're going to go for the play down here.
Yeah, while the Dragon already went down, Andrew targeting out Ayla and the Hextech Ultimatum. They're looking for that combo. They're going to find that Olaf, and he's going low, but not quite down. Andrew makes sure he finishes him. Swiper coming in here. We've got our first proper fight of the game right now. Andrew is going to heal, drop down anyways. It's going to be Claire finishing the job. 1 for 1 so far. Jungler for AD
What's
carry.
going on back
Get
here?
back, walking away the wrong way. Raze should finish him off easily. And Chiefs win the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Biopanther just didn't take part. He had Ignite. He chose to walk down. Swiper used the teleport. Biopanther wasn't able to get in there, and that just means that they lose out on the trade. Raze being able to grab one of those kills, plus the fact that now he's going to eat a full creep wave, is a pretty big deal. Swap is actually going to come out of the Direwolves, and their first real combo use Pyra, a little bit whiffed.
A little bit. They did secure the Olaf, but it had to be secured by Andrew. It wasn't quite enough damage. And I think Direwolves might have hesitated for a moment if they wanted that, and then you can see they go in, but it's already after a little bit of time has passed.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, they burn everything they have to here. I think that that could have merely been a flash ultimate onto Ayla to, you know, pick up the first kill. As you mentioned, Andrew had to go so deep, and look at where Biopanther is. This is a 5v4. Yeah. Biopanther did nothing in this fight. He hit a mid lane wave, and it crashed into the turret, and then he walked back and cleared out a ward, I'm pretty sure. Like, nothing, he didn't even clear out the ward.
And what is Get Back doing, too? It feels like he was chasing Ayla, and it just, he got caught without anybody left.
Absolutely, that's exactly what happened. I mean, he thought that they were winning the team fight, that maybe Biopanther was a little bit closer. Certainly wasn't the case, and he pays with his life.
All right, so the full swap comes in. We've got our Australia lanes.
That's interesting that the Chiefs decided to match, right? Obviously don't want to give over priority of the Rift Herald and saw the swap was going to come out. Or if they didn't, good tempo play coming out of the Direwolves to get a small advantage. See, they got a turret plating in the bottom lane for it.
Still a 700 gold advantage, by the way, for Direwolves after all said and done, even though Chiefs had a 2-to-1 advantage on that fight. Where is that gold coming from?
I think, like, you know, that turret plating that just would have happened, as well as a 20 CS lead in the top lane. Big deal. Also, gold's just a fickle creature.
True.
Ever since we changed how cannon creeps work, if you just get more cannon creeps because you're running more DMATs, then you'll just build strange gold leads. Like, all it takes is like 3 cannon creeps to be missed by a team and you to DMAT every single one of them. It's like 200 gold.
Yes, things start to stack up for sure. Speaking of stacking up, items started to come in here. Gunblade's finished by the Akali. We'd already seen Get Back on a previous back finish off his proto belt. But this should be where Claire's going to start feeling a little more confident. He got a kill in that last fight after, you know, kind of tragically nearly getting another one earlier on, and he should be happy to, you know, be waiting out and baiting in the wings. Corporal going to sniff in here. Direwolves have not been afraid.
Going to head up here, but he is still very far. He actually popped the ghost to try and get here in time.
Yeah, and he might just be able to do it, but look at Claire on the back line. All of a sudden, they're trying to sandwich the rest of the team. Claire's going to get chunked out as he couldn't quite get in there. Not so much of a perfect execution. And the Rift Herald is just in the mix here. Raze going to go up and get those roots, but not nearly enough. 2 quick kills picked up by the Direwolves, and now they're on top of the Rift Herald.
And I'm going to share a little secret with the people at home. I am a massive fan of the Direwolves comp. Camille Galio just gives you such ease of execution and a really clear go button. It's so hard to play an assassin against Galio as well, just so much backline protection. And this time, they make the play work. Much earlier on the rotate from Biopanther, willing to change to the Ghost and sprint towards the play. This time, Swiper's the one caught out position, genuine 4v5. They get the 2 kills, they get themselves the Rift Herald, and now they actually have a meaningful lead. This is a 2,000 gold lead for the young Wolfpack.
Yeah, and this has got to be a confidence builder for sure. So you called it at the beginning of the game. You know, this is what we want to see, a more decisive team going and making plays, even if they don't always work out. Here it did.
This is exactly what you want to see out of a young team. Like, protect your carries, you know, burn the summoner spells. Just so well done from the entire Direwolves lineup. Decisive play from Ubisoft. He is separated. Let's take him down. You know, the harpoon hit. Everyone follows up. I would rather see more ultimates used than less, even if it is a little bit overkill. And that pretty much, like, if this was a team like Bombers versus Chiefs, you would say that that is like the snowball needed to nearly win out this game. I'm really interested to see now how Direwolves play with this lead.
Yeah, and crucially, they have the kills on a couple of carries as well right now. Between Andrew and Ubisoft, they have damage. So this is looking really great for the Wolfpack.
Not only that, Ubisoft must have some kills because he needs GA. He usually stops so early in this game. If he doesn't get GA Starix, like, there's no way he can engage fights. And Corporal isn't the person you want to engage because the Hextech Ultimatum guarantees the kill. Like, that's why even though Xin Zhao Galio and Lee Sin Galio are better 2v2s than Camille Galio, the Hextech Ultimatum tool in the mid to late game is just so important because even though Volt said he feels like his team outscaled, I think it was Order played it against the Direwolves and they got the Lucian once in the whole game, but it was enough to secure them the victory.
Yeah, all you need to do is get it in the right moment, and I think that is why a pick like Camille is so powerful, because you can guarantee you've locked someone in. As long as you're the one forcing the fight. You obviously don't want to Hextech Ultimatum in a defensive manner. That's usually not so good. Chiefs continue, though, to secure dragons, even though they haven't been as big a consequence. That's the second Ocean Dragon. Or was that one already up?
No, that's the second one, I think.
Okay.
It's still a genuine win condition, right? Direwolves have been known to take games into Elder Drake territory, so having any dragons with an Elder Drake is certainly worthwhile. Udi needs to be a bit careful here. He's on weak side of the map right now. His whole team is reset, so it gets the heck out of dodge. But they've done a lot of damage to mid and top lane turret. And Biopanther should be winning this 1v1 now. He's got himself the 26 CS lead. He's, you know, got himself that assist as well. And as you already mentioned, Urgot does push better in this matchup with those knees. So should just be able to push into this turret as much as he wants.
Case in point. Swiper will have the wave walk right into him, and he's going to preemptively start joining the mid. This is a lot of vision invested by Chiefs around the mid side of this map between jungle entrances. Definitely not keen to get caught sleeping again. Ubisoft on the front line. Looks like Direwolves looking to try and set up for a push here in the mid lane, and everyone from Chiefs should be reacting.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried he was going to drop the Herald there, because that would have been definitely stopped by Ayla's snare.
Yeah, they want to wait for a fight before they drop it.
Absolutely. And I'll see whether they can, once again, execute well enough on this kind of wombo combo team comp they've put together, because the sum of Direwolves' part, ooh, get back.
Oh, I don't know if he was expecting that one, but he does go in. Shield of Duran will land, get the taunt off on Claire. That's some serious damage onto the Akali, not to mention onto Oli, and Ubisoft going in, forcing the flash out of the Olaf.
Really nicely done from Get Back. The situational awareness of, like, I'm in, I need to put down damage, don't have flash available with Aftershock is such an incredibly tanky guy. He still hasn't even got boots, Pyra.
Yeah.
He's just going like pure item build.
Yeah, I don't know if he wants to be going barefoot in these fights right now, but clearly he's felt confident up until this point. Now, up in the top, the Rift Herald does get popped after the backaways, and with how low the turret is, this should easily finish it off before the Akali can get there.
Yeah, well, what this means is now they have to send someone to deal with that Rift Herald. They have the ultimate available if they want to pull the trigger on the mid lane play. Otherwise, if they see Akali and Sion stay in their lanes, they can just look for a free turret hit.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Direwolves is 5. Chiefs know that they can't respond in time for this one, so they knock down not 1 but 2 turrets in this game and start to roll that gold lead forward.
Yeah, and the process is working. Raze has also rushed an Essence Reaver.
Yep.
This is 9.2.
That is...
The Essence Reaver changes haven't gone through, so this is
maybe
still
he's playing
Essence
on live
Flare.
a little too much.
A strange item to rush. I'd like to see, I assume it's deliberate, you know, players know what patch they're playing on. But it's just a little bit quirky. Maybe wants some more ripbacks.
Suppose so. I couldn't say, to be honest, but Chiefs definitely finding themselves in what has been an unfamiliar position this split for them.
Fine in the
goal
early
deficit.
Game. If they lose to Camille Galio, I think they've lost both of their games to Camille Galio as well.
That's kind of ironic, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
given the fact that legitimately they pretty much created the comp. Well, I think Legacy created the comp, and then like Chiefs 100% blatantly stole it.
Destroyed by their own creation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. That's definitely an interesting thing. But I think it's a great type of composition for a young team like the Direwolves to play because of the aforementioned ease of execution. The fact that they can press the go buttons, they have a clear win condition, and all you need to do is make it work a couple of times in the right scenario, and you're feeling pretty good about yourselves. Now, BioPanther, he's forced to flash preemptively. Didn't expect a Claire in the brush.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really nice roam down from Claire. He should be catching that top lane turret. However, it's pushing back into him so he doesn't lose all that much. However, now they need to be careful.
And they have to know this is happening. Shroud comes in, Claire dodging out from the dash of BioPanther. They forced away. The rest of the Wolfpack wasn't too far behind.
You could see that as soon as they had the Chameleon range, that BioPanther very happy to just start running forward. They had the Galio to piggyback in on that as well. In saying that, right now, the Chiefs are winning out on the overall map position because, as I mentioned, all those creeps in the top lane are dying, so Claire's going to get an extra, 10, 15 CS lead over his counterpart in Get Back. So whilst Swiper is falling behind in the tank versus tank matchup, the Assassin is getting a lot of gold right now. But that is 2 completed items from Get Back because he ain't got boots. He ain't got no Nikes, no Adidas, no New Balance. Like, there are multiple selections of boots that you can buy in League of Legends. And he's just said, you know what? Today, I'm going barefoot. They didn't have my size for whatever reason. I just don't want this.
He doesn't need no boots, man. He's flying up from the skies, apparently. Yeah, that is a bit weird. But he's not been immobile by any means. He's been able to get into these fights. So, clearly, he's just decided he doesn't need them.
Absolutely.
I wonder when he will buy boots.
I hope he doesn't.
It's the whole game? Just go 6 items?
I hope he goes the Cassiopeia treatment. Like, look how slow this guy is. 335 base movement speed.
Yeah. I mean, look, if he's within ult range,
he's
whenever
strolling.
a fight breaks out, he's fine.
Like, look at that swagger walk. Yeah. That is a 335 movement speed swag walk.
Again, things I didn't expect to hear in 2019. Good stuff. Unisof's going to get a free dragon here, so this time Direwolves will get it. That is the 3rd ocean of this game. I believe we can't have any more oceans after that.
Thank goodness.
Yeah. What do we got now? Ah, it's a Cloud Drake.
Well,
actually, that's great for Get Back.
That's great for Get Back. There are soft caps on... Well, actually, bottom lane.
Hold on. Exhaust comes through. Talk about walking slow. In comes Unisop to combo on with BioPanther. Hex Tech Ultimatum. Decimating Smash. That is a lot of damage on Unisop. They actually have to let him go.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they weren't able to get any CC to get Andrew into range. He was the only one that was going to take any more HP off Swiper.
Look at Chiefs moving in the mid, though. Instant reaction.
Might be able to get some chunk damage down. However, I don't think they can take this turret because Corporal's threat of engage plus the fact that they can't see anyone else on the map right now should dissuade Raze from hitting this turret too much.
Yeah, it looks like he gets it down to a little below half. Still free chip damage, but Chiefs not wanting to push the luck too far. Interesting turn of events there with Swiper on the bottom lane.
He bought boots.
Ah, there you go. Brown bags. See how long it takes to upgrade.
Oh, Get Back!
Hello. Get Back is caught. He does get the shield of Durandon, but that is the Ragnarocking Olaf, unable to be CC'd. And that is kind of a big nope from both teams.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, Swiper was heading over but didn't have the ultimate available, so they should have been able to call that one out. BioPanther has teleport, but there was no real good way to teleport into that play. He also didn't have ult available. So both teams kind of like just too many tools not available to have a decisive winner of that team fight. So I respect that both of them, just choose to disengage. Get Back having to use his Flash is a huge deal. Flash Galio Taunt is just a massive turning tool. But in saying that, not a life lost or anything along those lines, and he will have it back up quite soon.
Yeah, and that being said, Get Back has done a great job of utilizing his Shielded Durand more defensively to try and help out Andrew whenever Claire jumps onto the backline. Claire's had a hard time really getting those executions off. He did get a clutch kill earlier on in what was kind of an ill-fated Direwolves fight, but I wonder how much more he'll be able to get out of this game.
Yeah, I mean, we heard that they were picking it for the side lane pressure, and that's really not Chief style. They really are more of a 5v5 death ball kind of meatball comp coming together. So, I wonder whether this is the Chiefs trying to be a team that they're not necessarily playing like every single day.
Yeah, well, trying something different at least. And I think if the goal is to experiment, that's fair. But if they feel like they have to do this, then that's a little bit odd, especially for a team that's kind of out in front at the moment in the league.
Yeah, potentially. You can see Unisop actually has really nice positioning here, has been able to sneak into this brush. We'll be able to get onto Only.
Ooh. Okay, stopped up. Unisop. So Direwolves do scare away the Chiefs from the Baron pit.
And they have a great Baron take. Biopanther takes no damage from it. He's going to be able to shred through Baron with a shotgun knees, as well as the fact that they've got a Ginsu's user in Andrew. Claire, however, is building himself up quite the weapon arsenal. You know, once he's got that Infinity Edge, his build, like, 100% is online. I think this build scales much better than the previously said build. Swiper in trouble.
Well, yeah, he is. Caught once again. This time, the Hextech Ultimatum means they won't have a whole lot of places to go. And the rest of the Wolf Pack come howling in. Swiper going to get chewed up by Biopanther on the Fear Beyond Death. And they just start making a run for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, now, bottom lane turret will take a little bit of damage, but they get themselves the pick, and they're going to be able to secure even more advantages in the mid lane. So really like that play. Got Swiper's ultimate again. Did have to use a couple of key ultimates in Udasoft and Biopanthers, but the map 5v4 right now is certainly worthwhile.
Yeah, and Claire was almost caught out for a second too. Gank squad roaming from the Direwolves. They start to move towards the Baron pit here. Biopanther holding the line on the bottom, does have teleport available.
However, maybe now they've got the flank.
Can't be sandwiched. However, Claire, he goes in. Corporal tries to get him stuck off of Andrew, and Andrew forced to flash away. Claire flashing the opposite direction. Get back closing the line.
Here we go.
And with Biopanther TPing in, they found themselves a numbers advantage in this fight, as it is a long way back into this for Claire, and he might get in too little, too late. Only Ray's trying, though. They're getting a lot of damage out, and it's turned around. The Direwolves are routed by the Chiefs, and now with only on the front, looking to cut Corporal down into a bunch of hamburgers.
That was such a nice team fight from Rage. You saw the Essence Flare come up. He got so much damage out as soon as that fight continued. Just kiting back over his feathers like a master. In saying that, it still is a 50-50. Over the wall they
saw
go.
Udasoft. Claire saw through the ruse for sure. Nowhere for him to get back into this one, even if he wanted. Claire just makes sure he has to run away, not getting his GA popped, and that Baron is going the way of Chiefs.
It certainly is. So the Chiefs, even though they had a 4,000 gold deficit, win the team fight in a 5v4. They take the Baron, they get it back to 2,000 gold, and now might have control of this game.
Yeah, misfire for sure. Let's watch this again. It all started looking okay as Andrew got out from Claire.
Yeah, and the reason that was so sketchy is because Claire didn't get his, got his Shroud down, and they couldn't target him. This right here looks perfect. However, you got to remember, Biopanther doesn't have his ultimate yet, so not able to use it there, and Claire just gets the massive rip back. I mean, that was so many feathers. Shut down across onto Raze, and they just continue to chase forward.
Yeah, that was beautiful from Raze, just to get the pullback, meaning the roots are there, and everybody just blows up. So now Chiefs have Baron, they can start pushing, and you can see the map control just in the blink of an eye starts going that way.
Yeah, it certainly does, and now it just means that it's going to be a little bit harder. There's going to be a Runan's Hurricane picked up for Andrew, so he has some wave clear, but when everyone shows up in your lane, you got to back away. And Raze really is having a great split. 500 gold shutdown now, 3-1 and 2. That was just such a nicely played team fight from the AD carry of the Chiefs Esports Club.
Yeah, and we heard from Volt too that Cupcake has been helping not just Ayla out, but also Raze, and seeing some results.
Yeah,
for
T-Ways
certain.
teaming up.
Claire and Only teaming up themselves on the bottom side. Get back can only really watch as this starts to fall down, and this is just a big gold swing. This should put the gold lead very close, about 500 away from going in Chiefs' favor. Remember, Direwolves had really built it up for a while, but we're seeing that kind of evaporate now.
Yeah, certainly are, and I mean, this is where the game becomes about the AD carries, right? Both of them are pretty much even on power. Who's going to be able to take that next team fight by the scruff of the neck? You know, it's going to be engaged by people like Udasoft and Get Back, and, you know, you're going to have to chew through people like Swiper, but ultimately I feel like it's going to be whether Raze or Andrew gets out more damage in this next 5-on-5 engagement. Because as you mentioned, the gold's back to dead even right now.
Exactly. And now Claire, he's going to cleanse out of the taunt, walking away. Udasoft having a hard time really kind of keeping his health bar up in this fight. But yeah, I think that Raze is in a safer position, though. He has self-heal. He doesn't have to rely on somebody like Get Back to really keep him alive in these fights.
Yeah, absolutely. In saying that, I mean, if your Urgot goes in, gets the first kill for you, and fears the rest of the team, and you just get to fly into the back like Superman, it's pretty easy to play Kaiser as well.
That's true. Still a little reliant on teammates, but it can't work. Tower going to get broken open. Now Direwolves into the base. Go the Chiefs, and they just melt through the members of Direwolves. Corporal getting cut down to size. Ayla even getting the last hit on that one. Andrew was dropped before it even all went down. And that will be the inhibitor. We're shy of 30 minutes here. Chiefs looking to knock this door.
Yeah, they certainly are. They instead will just swing around the base, look for the bottom lane turret and inhibitor as well. And that's just Andrew and Corporal being too far forward. You know, one mistake like that and you just get everything taken away from you. Swiper's just such a good frontline tank.
Yeah, he is. Big Swips. Crucial here for the Chiefs. Closing out another inhibitor. We're still under 30 minutes now, Spawn. Chiefs have well and truly taken the lead.
Yeah, they certainly have, and you can see that where the map positioning of the pink wards and stuff is. The game state has changed so quickly for the Direwolves that they haven't really even been able to pick up and then move their pink wards to deny that vision inside the base. Now 2 turrets down, and this is what I was talking about. Swiper just walks up, gets a big slow, and a 2-man knock up there. Then Corporal tries to save his AD carry, you know, too far forward, going to go down. It's just those little positioning errors that Swiper and the rest of the Chiefs lineup have been able to take advantage of as this game goes forward. And now I feel like it has to be a cheese, but they just haven't got the vision to be able to do it.
That's the hard thing. So Direwolves are going to have to either go in blind if they want to take fights, or they're going to have to somehow find ways to get vision in. It's going to be a while they attempt to stop the bleeding. Direwolves have shown an ability to really grind out some later games, so you know that experience is going to come to bear here. This game is already longer than the last time these two teams met, by the way.
And it's not over by any stretch of the imagination. You still have the engage that's going to come through on Udisoft. He has a GA, so he's going to have a second crack at it as well. Get Back has himself a stopwatch, so they still have ways to win team fights. Problem is, just so many tools, as now Claire gets out of dodge.
And Claire's fast. Even if Direwolves want to get a catch-off, it's hard to do that without utilizing the Hextech Ultimatum.
Have the stopwatch available as well, even if they do go for the Hextech Ultimatum. Now Biopanther.
They're looking to move up in here, and there's a lot of
here we
Direwolves. The Wolfpack comes out of nowhere here. Ayla goes golden for a second, and he's going to flash away. Corporal taking way too much damage as Claire hopped his way in. Shield of Duran, they're going to have some stuns out, but will it be enough for now? Udisoft tagging in for round number 2, and everybody's getting cut down to size here, but the Chiefs are just a little bit too big. Biopanther pops his own stopwatch, but he's still going to get taken out of this one. And Chiefs do not lose a man. Looking for Andrew as well, forced to flash away, running the wrong way as Claire looks to hunt him down.
Yeah, you hate to see it. Andrew's ultimate took him over the wrong side of the wall. He just couldn't auto-attack anyone after that. That means that the Direwolves will fall down. The Chiefs win the team fight 3 people to 0, and they push in to end the game.
Yeah, that should be easy peasy here, as only Get Back available to offer any sort of resistance to the Chiefs as they march in with the super minions. Doesn't matter if Andrews died or not, it's still keeping him busy. Corporal comes back up off the fountain, but only is freely hitting away from this. There goes the hero's entrance. Get Back, and Corporal getting cut down once again. Way too many minions, way too much damage, and way too much pressure. Chiefs Esports Club show everybody why they're still on the top.
And Raze with another stellar performance for the Chiefs. Just such a consistent force in the AD carry position at the moment. Ayla and Raze certainly cementing themselves as such a terrific duo. I mean, there were other areas this game that were impressive. Claire made a couple of whoopsies, but also had a pretty good performance on the Akali, I feel. And Swiper on the Scion is just showing that, you know, he plays either side of the matchup pretty well, and continues to be a staple for the Chiefs Esports Club.
I think that's fair. Swiper is always that guy that just, if you lose his lane, he's like, whatever, you know, we're still going to be fine later on. He's always an asset for the team, and Chiefs, you know, it looked like for a while they might be sweating it, but they pulled it back very, very well.
Yeah, they certainly did. And I mean, the thing, as I said, you kind of get like a couple of shots with those comps. You know, when you're running things like Camille Gallion, and if you can't make them stick, then it's not going to work. The real bummer was that the first one looked so promising, but Biopanther didn't have teleport because he was running Spellbook to get to the play at the same time as Swiper. I feel like that set the tone of the game, and even though they wrestled it back, you know, as Volt really accurately pointed out, the later the game goes, like the more control the Chiefs were going to have, and they just weren't able to layer that big wombo combo of the ultimates successfully over the Chiefs lineup.
Yeah, playing a little more finesse. Chiefs managed to take another win, so over back to the couch to round that one out.
Well, Jake was a big fan of the Direwolves lineup. Did you guys feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the composition, it makes a lot of sense, and there is an argument to be had if you look at this game from an outside perspective. You say that Chiefs are the favorites, Direwolves are the underdogs. You pick a composition that is just so obvious how to execute, and suddenly the game does look a little bit closer, right? Like you have opportunities because your comp so obviously has opportunities that you close the gap a little bit in a game like that.
And they had like a 3K gold lead for a significant portion of that game, right? The early game, I feel like, was rough from Chiefs, Claire specifically. There was 2 plays, like the mid laner gets killed on the 2 versus 1, like a little bit of a misplay himself, but then also like caught out on the top side of the river, stuff like that. So Chiefs definitely handed them opportunities. Direwolves did well. They're a team that we're saying is fairly slow to pick up the pace of the game and like actually punish them. But then, of course, like, you know, in classic Chiefs fashion, it gets to team fights and they're popping off.
And the thing is, like, what makes Direwolves' composition position so scary is getting a single kill. And you can compare it to like Jinx getting excited in a team fight, but theirs always gets the kill. The question is, who do they get? You have a Camille ultimate that locks someone in. You have a Galio that follows through with crowd control. And you have an Urgot that executes them at 25% health. So there will be a kill most of the time.
Yeah.
And it's just about who do they get. And is it Raze? And the answer was never yes.
Yes.
And Raze was just incredible.
Yeah, because he's an AD carry. So like we were having this conversation, and Quinny K, the perfect player, Raze, he doesn't mechanically just mess something up.
Yeah.
He makes like a dumb decision or something, and he'll die for it. Like rarely, but like once you get to the later portions of the game, like I feel like he is just an incredibly clutch player and has always been. Like 2017, when I was playing with him, he's the guy, like, as an AD carry that can shot call in the late game. He's the AD carry that is, like, stepping up frontlining because he knows he has Featherstorm and he will always be all right. But those last couple of team fights were actually incredibly well played. On the Xayah, like, he has the oh crap button for a Galio comp. I feel like that's why, sort of, he went into that sort of style. But then you have the Kaiser who's diving on him. He's immediately stopwatching, denying the opportunity to Andrew on the other side. So I just really respect like how he played the back end of that.
And you can challenge the Essence Reaver build, a lot of people will, but if you have to ult at the start of a fight because it's a Camille Galio comp, you're getting the maximum out of that Essence Reaver. That's all I'm saying.
Well, there were a lot of surprises today when it came to game results, but there was no surprise when it came to Chiefs versus Direwolves, and someone who I'm sure was not surprised but is very pleased is Only, and he's at the desk with Pyro.
Definitely not even a little bit surprised. Congratulations on your win, Only. But it did seem for a little while there that the Wolfpack kind of had you guys on the ropes. Were you concerned when you were falling down in the deficit?
Personally, honestly, yeah, like a little bit. I thought they played really, really well. They definitely punished our early game, like little mishaps. We tried to set up for plays, and our synergy wasn't quite together, and they like punished it well. So props to them, yeah.
Yeah. Well, then of course the Direwolves also had a couple of synergy issues of their own, especially when BioPanther wasn't available for some of these fights. Did you guys just immediately realize that, oh, we have a 5v4, we can actually take this, or was it just so chaotic that you couldn't quite tell in the moment?
Definitely, like when you're playing, like when you have numbers, when it's 5v4, like you immediately play like way more confidently. So that just comes into it. Plus, we just sort of wanted to just do the Chiefs like death ball sort of team fight kind of thing. So
classic.
Yeah, we just went for it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you also are coming over from Legacy last year as well. So for somebody who has made a transition from one very storied organization to another, how has that gone?
Well, this is like I love it. Like this is the best team I've played with. Everyone's really like dedicated, committed. Even after like OPL days, people just jump into solo queue straight away, and I just love that. It's like really motivating for me to be in that environment. So
that's good to hear. Very positive place. Now I think you guys have a lot to be happy about as well. You once again at the top at the moment of the OPL. Do you think there's any team that's going to knock you off that perch at the moment?
Right now, no. But if I mean, we had a pretty sloppy game just then, so maybe. But like right now, I'm gonna say no. But if there was a team that could do it, I would definitely say like Bombers, like really strong contender. I actually have quite a lot of respect for AV. I think the champions that they play are like really annoying, and definitely like I don't think like OPL is very used to those champions like the Evelyn and the Mordekaiser. So if there's gonna be like a team, it's Bombers or AV. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the interview. Congrats on the win again.
Thank you.
Send it back to the couch. I think Rusty's going to have a big smile on his face.
Thank you, Only. But I don't, because I'm about to eat a chili.
Alas, we come to the end of another weekend of the OPL. We come to the beginning of another round of a man crying as he chows down on a big old chill. The question I have for you, Rusty, is do you go like big and red? Do you go big and green? Is that even... That's interesting, because that might not even be ripe. So therefore, maybe the seeds haven't matured.
I don't know.
Do you go small and red?
Be careful of the pig. Be careful of the pig.
That one's a pocket rocket that you just picked up too.
Yeah, the small... Or do you go orange?
That one looks like I'll just die.
Go.
Like,
I did the hybrid. I did the hybrid on my second day. You haven't done a hybrid yet.
Okay.
You've got to do the hybrid.
So I should totally do the one he cried on. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
going
a great idea.
What are you talking about?
I'm not going to get you into anything, but you, of course, do need to pick because you were the biggest lookers. Goodbye.
What are you going for?
That's pretty...
That's more
spicy.
stem than chili. Look at this. This is a longer stem than chili. There you go.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Not
anymore.
There you go. That's okay. That doesn't really change anything for you.
I'm
But,
committed to
apparently-
this
but
one.
Bryce is happy.
Don't
because
worry, it's now more chili
the
than
stem is
stem.
now
I
shorter.
still cry the same.
Now, we've had a lovely weekend. I do want to congratulate again Chrono Break Os for winning the Budge Play competition with the Talon cosplay.
Yes.
Super impressive.
Just don't wear it outside.
Don't wear it outside, and definitely don't try to get it into any conventions
Yeah.
with those
Strong agree.
knives dangling off the end. But all over, I would say it's been quite the weekend when it comes to mixing up the table for the OPL.
Absolutely. Do you want me to eat this and then go through it all?
Well, I've been told that we need to wait,
Oh,
so I'm
okay.
actually just filling time.
Yeah, it's been a great week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great day.
You gotta
fellas.
win.
I had a good day.
See, legit, you've totally struck fear into my heart about the chili eating competition because, like I said at the beginning of the day, you guys, for me, are the hardest ones to pick what's going to happen. And now, so far, I've been pretty confident. And now everything's out the window because if someone has a mediocre day, Gravitas there, bam, we gotcha.
Hold on.
I mean, it's not just that.
Gravitas.
Gravelers
Is it?
toes.
Say it with me. Gravitas.
Grover
Spooks can't say it. You
Groovy
can't
boys.
say it. It's gravitas.
Yep.
At
Gravitas,
least,
yeah.
at least, just give me a good name. If you're gonna pick like, you know what I
Groovy
mean?
Toes.
Groovy Toes is pretty good.
Gravy toes.
Gravy toe. As long as you got to change it up every week. I never want to hear the same name twice.
It
You
just
got to
needs
commit
to
to
be
this.
G and B.
If you're gonna commit to this,
Yep.
commit.
Am
That's
I
all
going
I'm
to commit?
saying.
All right. I think someone should commit to something, and I think that someone should eat a chili.
Yeah.
I reckon it should just happen.
Yeah.
Can I just do it?
Can we eat the chili now?
Am I good to...
Who knows?
We're waiting. We're
Hold
waiting on
what's your-
next week's
I
schedule.
want to
okay.
analyze your choices.
All right.
So we've got.
I think
Yeah,
I
what did you
picked
go?
a
you
real
just,
good one.
You just gone
This
for a
is the
real
goodest
normie
boy
chili.
of chilies.
You just went for a real normie chili. You definitely.
Well, colour me vanilla, you know?
Yeah.
My chili choice.
You've
'cause
disappointed
they
me
all suck,
slightly.
but
Low
it's not vanilla at all. There's so much worse in there. And
Is
so
there?
much better.
This one, I am genuinely disappointed. You didn't go for the hybrid green, orange, red chili.
Now look.
That sounds like a
join
fun
me?
time.
So here's
Absolutely
the
not.
thing. Bryce ate one of those big ones.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you said it was worse than the small
Okay,
one.
tier list.
But I ate one of
I think the
those
small
one of those
ones are
big
worse.
ones, and I went. It was way better than the small
think the small
spicy.
ones
Well,
are
okay,
worse.
for everyone back at home, our first round of chilies actually went off, so we got replacements. So very first chili I had was the little one, and I was like, oh man, I'm such a tank. I
Yeah.
just owned that. That was so good. It wasn't that bad. Right? I'm not good with chili. So I did it, and I was like,
Yeah.
man, I feel good about that one. Next week, I go for the big hybrid boy, green and red, and he's looking angry, and it just was not a good time. It was not a good time, right? It was the worst. And
Never
then-
read a traffic
then
light.
and then third week that I had to eat a chili in a row.
Yep.
I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to the little ones.
Yep.
By this stage, our producer had gone out get another round of chilies. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first round were just kaput.
They
Yeah.
were spicy boys.
And so I went back to the little one, and then that was the worst one I've had.
Yeah, it was not good times
Yeah.
at all.
It's the same batch.
So you got to mix it up, mate. That's all I'm saying. You're
I've
vanilla
had a-
ice creaming
I've
this
had
one.
a
You
big
gotta,
boy before.
Can I tell you? All the dramatic tension has been built. You're now allowed to eat the chili.
Thank God.
And while you eat,
Dramatic
could you
tension.
please talk through the results from today, the standings, and then next week's sketch?
Sketch. I like that.
Give me a second.
Have a chew.
Don't talk with
God.
your mouth full.
Yeah.
Swallow first.
Have a chew. I love watching his face go immediately redder.
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
super red.
like the gradient. It just
Already paid.
goes over.
My God. This is a lot of chili.
Yeah.
He's crunching away.
Okay. So, the Bombers. Chiefs, is this next week? Is this today's schedule? Because this is not today's
This is
schedule.
not today's
is it?
schedule.
This is
must
next
be-
week.
No, it was. Wait, what?
This is not today.
This is
a schedule.
No.
We're not sure
First
when.
game was Gravitas versus Order. Gravitas won.
Yeah.
Second game was AV versus. No, I have the
Bombers.
schedule in my book. Yeah.
Go
AV
right here.
Bombers.
AV versus Bombers.
Yeah.
Bombers won. Third game was Legacy versus Mammoth. Mammoth
We're
win.
stealing his
Great.
job.
And the fourth game, Chief versus Direwolves.
We just watched it, mate.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright.
No, I
you
just
said
did it. That's fine. Do we have the
Great.
table? Maybe the table is a graphic that we have. Maybe the control room ate a chili. There you go.
We got the standings. Bombers, Chiefs, 7-1, but someone has head-to-head
Bombers
there.
have the head-to-head. Sorry, Chiefs have the
Chiefs have
head-to-head.
head-to-head, so they're
Yeah.
actually first. Order and AV are both 5-3 because they lost to your boys today. And we have head-to-head,
Yep.
so we're third. And that means Order's fourth. Gravitas, they won, but they don't have head-to-head against Mammoth.
Yep.
So let's swap that as well.
We're in a shambles. We're in an absolute shambles.
And who won between Legacy and Direwolves? Was it Legacy?
I believe it was.
No, it was Legacy. So that was correct.
Yes.
7 and 8's good. And that's your standings. Next week's schedule.
This went on for so
We did
long.
it.
The chili's worn off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good now. Direwolves played Gravitas next week. Got AV against Order. My mouth is still burning, but I just can speak again. So this is great. Legacy take on Bombers, and Mammoth play the Chiefs. Might be a good game. Might not be. And then it might be a second day. I don't know.
Brilliant. All right.
There is it.
Yeah, no, that's day one. It's week 5, day one.
We're good. There's no way that we could screw this up more. So we are done for the weekend. We're hosting Mid Beast, who's you're going to be seeing in a second on your
it
screen.
Saria?
No, it's Mid Beast.
Oh, it's Mid Beast.
Yeah, no, it's just another one of those OPL hiccups.
The old switcheroo.
And you are off to the gym with Swiper.
I am. I'm off to the gym with Swiper. My Instagram is, I think it's Rusty the Caster.
Oh,
it may
you
not be.
shill.
For behind the
You
scenes of
bloody
me
shill.
drilling Swiper through one of the biggest sessions of his life.
You idiot. Just turn it off.
No, that was planned.
Just turn it off.
I mean, more reason to tune in, really.
I'm out.
It's